Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates.
And which is also enono kati which is also ngabana batanso kode masomero tulabe which is also ngabadde excitement tulabe amaziga tulabe ebintu okusomoza okwabuli ngeri yonna ngabana badde masomero tukirabyeko so ne byonna ngabo bidiranga bifanana katulire tulabe which yokubiri of course mulimu amasomero nga tegannaba kukola kigatekedwa kola tegannaba kubanga bagali badde daye katuzenti abana weekend ekebagweredden abali masomero g'ebisulo abali mu schools abali masomero gonna agataligamu tunakiraba ministry twajulide ko ngegera n'amasomero agamu nge bategeeza ebyobisale okwongeza ebisale okwongeza school fees okuyitiriza school fees mu kikendeze era mu kiveeko okujja ko ngofunye ekiwandiiko for all secondary schools oteeka okufuna ekiwandiiko ekiva permanent secretary wa ministry ya ebyenjigiriza ate amasomero gonna ga primary bemba nga munaabako ekintu kyonna kikola muteeka okuba nga mufunye ebbaluwa ey'enjawulo okuva town clerk oba wakaawo okubakkiriza okukola ekyo esatula eva ministry ya education ebakkiriza nti muteekwa okwogera n'abazadde newaba nga waliwo ddala ensonga naye ate era mujjukire nti nammwera bannannyini masomero era namwate muli bazadde mujjukire nti nammwe abasomesa era namwate muli bazadde kakati oyinza okuba nga gw'osomesa mu ssomero lino naye ng'ate mu ssomero ly'eddala tebakumanyi nga musomesa mu ssomero ly'eddala ate omwana gy'omutwala kubanga abamu kummwe gye musomesa ate abaana basi gye basomera kakati ate gy'otwala omwana wo ate yo si toliyo ng'omusomesa toliyo nga director toliyo nga teacher oliyo ng'omuzadde kakati byokola abazadde ku saidi eno mu ssomero linamu obuyinza ate neri kifeeko nalabeko kantu akabadde katambula ku social media ku mitimbagano okwo nalabyeko kantu akabadde katambula ku mitimbagano aka essomero ligamba abaana ba P1 P2 twagala P1 P2 twagala ebitabo dozen ndoza namba basaba dozen oba namba basaba dozen 2 ebitabo basaba ebitabo ndoza basaba dozen 2 ebitabo bya either 48 pages or 96 pages naye nga bemphasizinga muri gamadi temwebiwandika ko manya akati ebitabo by'omwana wange bakibiwandika ko manya bembanga tumina nteekateeka ebitunda akati ekyatu kyemukola kyekireetera abazadde okubeera suspicious naga nti omwana wa primary 1 ayina ebitabo asoma amasomo 4 abaana tubabuuza amasomo 4 omwana agandi nsoma English nsoma simanyi literacy simanyi literacy nsoma numeracy nsoma sima na kyekirala bayina ebintu nga bina byokka n'ekitabo ekyokutaano ekya homework mukino ekitabo bayiteekamu homework naye omuzadde nayisistinga esoma nayisistinga negati twagala ebitabo dozen namba nobuuza nti omwana wa P1 oyagala ebitabo bya 96 pages bannange wetwaswe abantu mwerebere n'okwera nti n'abamukufe nakatukyasoma n'abamukufe tukyasoma wenzijuriza ekitabo kya 96 pages nange ali ku level ekitabo kya 96 pages wekijuriza ng'obuwandiisa ebintu bingi akati naye omwana bwaba aleesa ekitabo nomanya nti buli lunaku musomesa numeracy nemusomesa literacy nemusomesa science nemusomesa oba ne handwriting I even don't know bemusomesa mu primary ennaku zino naye kyonna akati omwana okumusaba ebitabo dozen namba ate nimwemphasizinga ebitabo bireete abamu kummwe these are even the schools akati essomero lyadde omwana ajja buli lunaku naddayo buli lunaku ewaka omwana nga bwajja ne container ye nga mulimu akagaati ke kakeeki ke nene ekyokulya kye bwatyo bwajja n'ecupa ye erimu amaziga ag'okunywa giyiswe naddayo nabyo olweggulo mu baagi ye akati gwate odimandinga nti omwana aleeta ebitabo it's a day school oyagala okumanya ebitabo omwana ajja n'ebitabo byonna in a day school ate kuliko etteeka ligamba nti tobiwandikako namanya mwagala bikozesa ki badaye please amasomero mutubuulire mwagala bikozesa ki ebitabo mwagala bimusaba abazadde mwagala kubikozesa ki kakati ng'olaba nti waliwo olukosikosaawo amasomero mukuganya ebintu mubijja ku bazadde ate nemuddamu nemubaguza ebitabo abaana ne baleese ate bembaguza abaana ne baleeta toilet paper ate nemuziguza abazadde abaana ne baleeta simanyi biki ate mubiguza abazadde business gye mukola mugikola naye ndowooza mulowooze ku bazadde ate ku saidi eri endala gavumenti gwe oli muzadde ku saidi oli musomesa ku saidi emu naye ate ku saidi endala oli muzadde so nga bw'otoyagala bikole ndoza nawe tutaka kubikola banuso kiri ku basomero mu nkole mu bindala naye amasomero go gazemu katulinde tulabe waliwo omuyizi yankubidde ku simu nga complaining omuyizi wa Mengeses yo Mengeses esomero ndyogedde omuyizi gwe sijja kwogera nangamba nti ffe tuli worried we all tujja mu class we put on our masks naye abasomesa baffe none of the teachers abambala mask kati ate omuyizi nga ya complaining ku basomesa Mengeses so abazadde abalina abaana ku Mengeses mwogere n'abasomesa bagambe nti abaana baffe tulambaza mask abaana bafaayo kale kali weewunye nti omwana ate ya complaints n'agamba nti none of our teachers akati mwe abasomesa abazadde mubagamba ki mulinga abagamba nti covid waabwe ate nga bube baana muyinza n'okubanga n'okuvaccinati nga mwetuma vaccinatinga sobola bityo ndiro mukukula Mirundi studios amchekana gonna ku lwaliro nsanyusa okulaba kingambe
mu America after the second world war
1945
balonda president nga mulokole Wilson America bamutta
Wilson oba yali
right he failed to negotiate for America.
President Mulokole
America wanted to become a superpower but this Mulokole man ngatunolira ensibambi baavu ati izinyu
lwaki
bamutemuliriza second first world war America wanted to become a superpower. Uganda wait how America became a superpower. The Manuel doctrine Omulokole bamutta kakati bwebibyo nabyoyogera you are talking from a moralistic Omulokole point of view. This is a resistance against Museveni pursued by use people. The more Museveni stays in power is a problem to them. Nzina kyewuunyizza sajja yagambye kati gatwale n'omukuba yali yajjirawo eky'emyaka 75 musajja yaligenze sajja nagamba nti wino ebikwati emuniform enjulu the people and when you see people graduating to babies kati kadala yakubirwa iki kujjawo 75 somebody was waiting to grab power
baali balowooza nti kijja kubeera definite bwe kityo
kakati ate kadala yakolera ani
kadala yakola buvunaanyizibwa nga speaker of parliament
najjayo emyaka emeka ate yanyiza bamunyumba this man must go because the moment you don't understand the dynamics of politics
nira ekyabantu balowooza nti president
bagande mukalongomuseyeri mulimu sabutafugi nabulya nakyo bakyogera nnaku ezo sabutafugi do you know that my since is to remember is acting yatuuza omusajja n'amubuulira namugaze nkwalukageeko kubanga ebibyo sijja kubisobola tobuulirwa tukola otya you were determined yes the vacuum the political vacuum expands every day
you have a political vacuum
anti yebwagamba but he has created the political vacuum a political vacuum means nti emmotoka emu bweva mu layini endala zitambula
ne vacuum tubeera tutya nayo tulina
abagoba
we have an
created the vacuum y'abagoba
tulina president
abanyampi yabagoba n'abamanyi
tulina president tulina vice president
anti yagamba political vacuum nkakukubire wano
reddo naye kati nzabuuza
the bullies
kubanga tulina
the bullies are going to take over you have created the bullies I rather do the baby wine than doing business with somebody who can kill people for export. Even Amin had excellent relations with the Arab countries, but we didn't export slaves to Arabs. Similarly, so say. If we are talking from a moralistic angle, you are not saying to our house girl, ayagala okugoba omukazi w'ewaka. Enva zonna ziteekamu omunnyo eroza agenda gola azookya but the blame goes to where
kwahosigalo
nabagamba nti waliwo ekiseera wootuuka ng'obakola nga Idi Amin yena dikuli n'abakoloni balina dikuri
anti amini alina dikuri kwa tena constitution constitution na constitution tuza kudikuri nganga
abaganda bakugamba olunattabwa kabwa limuziba nnyindo which are the ministries of a state, a democratic state, parliament, the intelligence, byonna biwambe, a dog must die, n'abanyongole balulina. What will kill a dog? A disease that kills a dog blocks its nostrils.
Tamale, on this last year, twali wano nawe tukweza abantu kwagala
okolabe nakukoledde eno magazine
abantu kati basindi kugenda okulonda era abantu ne bagenda
magazine egamba ekyo
ne bagenda ne balonda
magazine egamba ekyo
magazine egamba nti human organs case traps Muhoozi's succession rivals mulimu ne message ya mutabani wange Bishop Semwogerere
message gyemuwadde
tuzanga 25
gyemuwadde
eno message gyemuwandikidde yakafunye kakatabo
ate byange nzidde message awe yayina okanoonya
kamutwalire
ante musawo muganda agamba tugenda olekyendige y'ebitege ey'amagulu 3 ng'olina okutukumu n'endali buli omugaati terina gyeri agwe gwempa sente nze ngikula esimu
nkamutwalire
ateeza amaye message
yemutwalire nzesobola okugimutuusaako njakamutwalira Semwogerere
to the moment you fail to study the political landscape. In political science, the political landscape.
Uganda elietya.
Tell me who is who.
Tamale,
the moment you fail to study the political landscape, the moment Museveni failed to tame, to destroy, to eliminate a subterfuge in their government,
did he fail?
Bali babenga tesobola bakwatako kati omanya katulututtu kasooka katulututtu nekafuuka ekizimba nekafuukira enjovu ng'oweddeyo tokyakasobola okandiko exist bayinza okuba omuntu
president mwanalo gye yaliko enjovu
yagireka n'emera kati waliwo esasi lye bakkuba mu mutwe oba ewantu wonna wali damaging ng'olina kkola nalyo wandika akatabo kange za invisible force nenjaga nti omukulu nti omusajja omu yali musajja mugagga kansooka enkubayo
kano nkeyanziza
nakano kawaayo omulala
webali kufuddeko
kakati omusajja omu yayita yali musajja mugagga wa business nayita financial manager namugaa nti why is our company collapsing mukazi watwala kino baganda bwe bajja batwala kino banyina bwe bajja bakyala kino ekisooka okirekemu katutundeko expenditure endala kapa gyogulira amata n'enkoko z'ogulira emmere tulijosinga ekapa amata gaayo ne endo emmere gyeri the company collapsed. Why couldn't this man confront his wife who was expensive yali amutya ali the company collapsed
kapa yali nnyo amata genkana
ki
enkoko eri emmere gye
yes this is where you are. Museveni fears to confront the real people.
Does he fear?
Olowooza ye Museveni teyekenya mu gavumenti y'abanne
ensigo gyakungula
naye amanyi waliwo ekituuko omusajja wali osoma amateeka e Kenya bali bamuyitawo spas yambere enkudutu nagenda wamukono gw'eddokita e Mombasa Kisumu nanga naye enkudutu yakufaananya bitu girongoosa yafa bamulongoosa waliwo ekintu kyozaalibwa nakyo nga bwekijjawo ofa kyobulaba omuganda ga nti ensuudo gireke gundi oba embalabe eyo embalabe eva mu musiwa ofa. Yes, this is where we are. We were talking about teachers, but let me tell you, did you have a task force before we opened the schools? Did you visit the structures of schools? amasomero gali rented. This task force will tell you what are the challenges ahead before we open. Court yajanga masata 2 years. 2, have you ever seen in education any matter that has been solved without the involvement of UNATU?
And UNATU Association Union
as the government or Ministry of Education sat down with UNATU. But during the COVID, bakugamba nti n'abaprivate mbawe sente UNATU ngejja Museveni n'akwata sente biliyoni 3 basooka bawako biliyoni 10 ne bakwata omukazi wa union ne muwala we ne bamusengesa ebiwandiiko nti ozifunye nti nzifunye ne miliyoni 5 ali Kitalya
omukazi gwe bavunaana
ne muwala we bali Kitalya bateeta Nsasiki sente zino bamwanze mu banka mu entrant ya banka mweziri awo media ngedduka kubera yagine Museveni trainer media era y'omwana mwera alikirira. The person I fear for his life is Kirinda Museveni gwalisa. I fear for his life. Kirinda omugu
Deputy Secretary.
Yes.
Amyuka
Yes.
Faruku
bajja muri awo
Faruku.
Yes. Lwaki nange bebankola
ekatete tukola kya
tebategeera ntwajja bayamba sente the second point he publicizes Museveni's event activities bweyagamba tugenda kulagira media desk yange ebafumize police code of ethics yali efulumye Museveni ni
press desk ya president
singa sente zagenda woli n'ensi sindifulu ejo bukuba mujje
nakyo kyetaaga sente
anti
gavumenti balajanaga ndi mufulu
abaana bebasalawo okutta kitaabu aleeta eddagala bamutta. The more Museveni stays in the power is a problem to them.
President Museveni mandate abadde bamuwa bagimuwa lwaleero yakamalako omwaka ogwo gumumu muzi akyalina emyaka emirala
bali baleese ekiteeso mu palamenti nabagambye nti Museveni asigaze ekintu ekyo kyalina okulwaniza kiba kimye kati demokulasi. Museveni yaleeta emirembe giri konte Museveni yaleeta emirembe contesias. Museveni yagamba nti ewaffe waka embisomo ebula nga tutandika matrices. How can a person be put in a cupboard? Ligasiriwo asigaza democracy.
Legacy President Museveni ndi wakati
andike nkubuuliza does Museveni have a street in Kampala? Does Museveni have his head? Bakugambye ejjo nti kubbera ya Amerika bataddeko omukazi asoose. Does Museveni
Mayanjulu
apple vision gundi amini yabasinga bonna yalina wano memorial and erasable memorial gundi
ayirirwa
amini yaddira ensi etali y'abasiraamu n'agitwala mu basiraamu era tukyali memba
IOC
n'aleeta Islamic University Mbale n'agula presidential jet n'atandika UTC 75 n'atandika Uganda
kakibiriwa
n'aleetawo omuzikiti wana na Mirembe wana Lubaga muzimba Bingwa yetu yiko
sasa viko wapi tamu
yes nazimba Kampala mukadde
biriwa kati bya Amin
tati byebyo wale ndaba yizo gutunga omuzikiti gwe Kampala Idi Amin memorial mosque Musigidi Idi Amin Masigidi what does Museveni have?
Talina
Jiriwa ayine policy
ayine ekibumbe
kyabuta abakibumbe bakijjawo ng'ekya Saddam
ayine ekibumbe kabati
let me tell you
ekibumbe ku SFC
ate babikuba ne babijjawo ebya Saddam basikanga bisike
Museveni lwaki banabikuba
ali nkugambye nti abantu they are erasing batuuse ne mu parliament because the more Museveni stays in the power ali kugambye ti omusajja yagambye ti when I look at my father in the law and my mother in law they are old age when somebody becomes old they are babies when Museveni talks on the national television people laugh wamunju tukiwe That is umutte tukabana abantu abavolwana nabo bobasobola
yekusayidi eno abana Uganda baba president Museveni nga president abamukoye bamwagala bacha kandi abomuntu osobola okugenda batwekinako bweke twagala mituzanga tuli makamu yekikagala wolende emmere mulya temwabyalonde wajjanjaba ku mulwadde anti awo nofuuza wajjanjaba ate mukimanyi these are hooligans. We cannot allow the goonies. Yes, who has created the goonies? You are the one who has created the vacuum. The widening vacuum. The goonies. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm what? Into ebintu bibakwata nembala every day. Nti tebayinza kubakkiriza kati let me tell you, apart from me, who is going to pay any coin? Tell me who is mobilizing the people for vaccination. Because one of the reasons is why they don't want the people to vaccinate. The moment they are using COVID numbers not to go to Hague. You go to Hague. Naye abamerikani ICC neteka kutumwebaze mirundi $5 bakutte abafaanana tumwebaze tumwebaze yesterday was testifying on the Zoom kakati tubatumwebaze adi nkubuulira nti baagala ennamba ekolesi.
We are very right, but I think first things first, we are looking at taking our targets, ourselves off the targets of the prosecutor. That is what I think. Well, you are very right. You are very right, really. But you see, in your submission, you said that when you look at what exactly the prosecutor is basing on, there is still a lot of vagueness in the evidence. And if you are talking about Tamale is reinforcing the prosecutor's evidence, so to pin us better. That is what I'm looking at. Those are the reasons I'm trying to use, sir. And it is really what I think should make a lot of sense if you are going to fight this battle. Well, I think you are very right on that. But sometimes the technicalities are also very important to think about. The first thing is there are certain things we should really respect. Currently, Tamale Mirundi is not operating alone, and at least our investigators have revealed so much. When you see Baramu around, you know the team he works with. There are so many other people he works with, and of course that also means the blessing of the principal. So what do we have to do about the Tamale? Let's first of all ignore him. We get to know exactly where the prosecutor's vagueness arises. Then we concentrate on that. But among other things, that simply requires money. And the killing of any possible evidences that could be anywhere.
Well, I support you on that.
Yes, that is what I'm also talking about. So we should think bigger, and think better.
All right. So, can I suggest something?
Please do, because we don't have to remain entrapped in the whole thing.
So, there was some kind of idea. I think I know a gentleman like Barugahare. Barugahare is a person you can basically talk to. And he understands most of his options are either about political dominance and the money. So if there isn't a conversation you can think about and it's all about money, I think you can put his attention. So can't we really use a person like him to see that we can compromise the attitude of Tamale and put it at least to become either docile? Because so far, what I believe, the final conclusion is that Tamale can never be our friend. That one is clear. But can't we really try to calm him down and cool him off so he can think about also doing some investment elsewhere.
Well, that would be a good one. But they already failed the attempts, and we have really tried those tactics long time ago. But even when he gets to know, because there are certain things we discussed and you wake up and you hear recorded tape on the radio or on the YouTube channel. But this guy, he never changes. So currently, Tamale Mirundi actually is blaming us that we have been dangling money as a method to build a bait so we can have him surrender his steps and all that. That has been the normal talk he says of the things.
But what I'm looking at really is we never dangled the money. If he was a person very straightforward to tell you that if you give me money, I give up the option, innocent person would get that money and hand it over. But a person who is waiting for your money and the same person is waiting to hammer you even harder, how can you think about giving them the money? So that is where the challenge came from. So you can no longer talk about the money until the money says, at least to send an emissary to people like, there are several people. Tamale could talk to, and like he would say, but you see, if you give me the money, I will destroy this. But the man who says that you give me the money, but I will not destroy anything, I'll keep my pace. It can only take an insane person to listen to such a thing and actually do it. So that is where my whole problem arose. And that is it. Actually, you are really very right. Any certain person would think that, you see, a man who does not come out straight to tell you that I will never do this until you have done this is a complicated person. Or a person who does not put clear boundaries to a deal. That is a no deal already. And it is what it has been happening really. But and I think that could be Mr. Tamale's shortfall. If he does not elaborate, identify his position, then it becomes a no deal actually. I would personally.
So that is where we are. So currently speaking, we failed to have a middle ground. We failed to have a middle ground. So we looked north, south, east, and west, and we failed to get a middle ground. I know he's out there complaining and has been sending so many messages to Sam, trying to tell him how we are playing him, how we are doing that. But he's the one playing us actually. He played us for too long. You want somebody to invest even if it were 10 million shillings. You can't say that you give me that because I'm annoyed. Then after I take that money, I keep my anger. But I will never forgive you. Then what is the reason to give you the 10 million in the first place? Keep your anger, keep your vendetta, and then leave me with the money. I do whatever I want to do with it. As long as your words are not going to kill me, I can use that same money to liberate myself in another way. So that is the whole thing. So simply, I believe Tamale simply failed to clearly identify his zone of operation. No, you cannot have your cake and eat it. You should have to think of a better way out. But it really didn't work out, and whatever blame is casting on us, it should be his problem. His problem right there. So for us, what I'm looking at is how we are going to wrestle and fight for anyone. I know some of you are very worried, but let me tell you, through challenges we become brave. Through bravery we make heroes. I believe everything is humanity. It is the human is in charge of this, and it is the human beings involved. And the way a human being is, we have a common interest, and that is life. And what makes life and makes sense these days is money. But it is all about how you package it and deliver it. So, we can win this case. I know, according to what Tamale Mirundi says, he has other options to lead his life. It is okay. We can let him do his work. We respect it. Even the president respects him for that. But that super arrogance, and yet is the same person who is casting the arrogance on our side. It will not work. It will not work. We shall always resort to other ways. There is no way to give you better welfare when you are not saying you're going to lay down your weapons. No, there is no way. If you say we are sworn enemies and we are fighting, and then you want me to give you more power in terms of weapons, but you are not telling me that we are going to become allies, or that we are not going to sign a pact of non-interference, then what good is it for me to give you the power? And no rational person would see it. Not so really. Exactly. What you're saying is very right. It is where the whole shortfall comes from. That is it. So,
now really for me, when you look at the whole summary, it is a complex game. But the most important thing is how we are going to get out of this. When you look at the whole squabble, it is a squid actually, if I should term it. But in the case we remain focused people, we can overcome this. The moment we are willing to raise the funds, we can overcome this. You see, Tamale Mirundi is a very great obstacle, but we can circumnavigate his obstruction. It may take us longer, it may be harder journey, but we can still take it. Because at the peak of everything, even a volcano has a limit. It can be as disastrous as the word disastrous is, but it cannot annihilate everything. Some things persevere. At the same time, it also preserves the DNA of certain creatures that can really be retrieved even after a billion years. So whatever Tamale is doing is okay. Let him go on. Let him go on and do it. But me, I'm in total disagreement. I disagree totally that he thinks that we could deliver the money to him. At the same time, he remains with the strength to attack us at will. Really, it is insanity. That is what I would call it.
Also, that is why I disagree with him. So whatever perception he got out of it, I'm sorry. But I was so much unwilling to continue with such a thing.
And you were really very right. If he created actually a clear line that we are not going to cross this line, compensate me for the ills I've gone through, and then we live as gentlemen. But there is never going to be any attack, any assault, with clear indication, with a clear pact. That would make a lot of sense. But you simply cannot tell somebody to lay down millions of money just. So simply somebody walks away and says, yes, it was done. And that is all.
That is the thing I also disagreed with.
It is really not there. It is a total illusion. Total illusion. That I come and give you the guns you want. I empower you when we have been enemies and we have not signed a pact that after powering you, we either become allies or we never interfere with each other. That would make a lot of sense.
That is the sense I was also looking at. So he's busy complaining that we are dangling money, but he was dangling himself. That is what I'm looking at.
Exactly, he was the same person dangling himself. He never allowed a breathing spot, a breathing space for everyone. That yes, what if we meet and we organize this amount of money and you take it? Am I safe? Because I also want you to take your money and be safe, be happy, start up an empire. But how do you expect me to give you to start an empire? Only to buy cannons, to keep bombing my land, to keep destroying my crops, to keep destroying my reputation. No, that one cannot work. And it really never worked. So whatever the case is, let him go bare knuckles. We shall always wait. At the end of it, there shall be a limit, beyond which we will never go. Because even a reader, the greatest reader, has a limit. They die. So, time is going to come when this is over. Even a